Do you have those moments that just stick out in your mind? Those ones that just stay with you forever. When I was a kid, I was told, you are what you do. So choose wisely.
The Red Lantern is an absolute delight, and honestly, it touched me on a level I wasn't expecting. From the main protagonist narrating her inner thoughts about questioning her life, to simply forming a sledding team with the world's best doggos, which you can pet, the Red Lantern is an indie game that fits perfectly for the upcoming winter season. Before I get any further into the video, I'm your host Justin, otherwise known as I Don't Beat Games, and I'm here to bring that nerd culture content right to your monitors. I'd also like to disclose that the game's developer, Timberline Studios, sent me a review code for the Red Lantern. Not that this will change the review by any means, but I thought you, the viewers, should know. If you enjoy this review or are interested in the Red Lantern, you can find all of Timberline Studios' links in the description below. The Red Lantern is a roguelike narrative game that tells the story of the main protagonist making her way through the Alaskan wilderness with her 5 amazing doggos. The game manages to create a beautiful yet concise experience that can be finished within a 3 to 5 hour time frame. Throughout the many runs due to trial and error, the Red Lantern also helps you grow a bond between the dogs you've chosen for your team and the main protagonist. For reference, the main protagonist doesn't have an actual name, and we're never given one, but I'll call her Mush because she says Mush whenever she tells the dogs to start running while on the sled. To give you the main premise of the story, Mush opens the game with an intimate set of thoughts regarding trying to find her new path in life. She tried to become a doctor and it didn't work for her. What's positive for her is her good pup Chomper. Mush decided to head to the middle of nowhere Alaska for a brand new start. You end up getting to choose a team of the world's best doggos, and after that you're off to the snowy Alaskan wilderness. The goal is simple. You have to reach a cabin that has a red lantern hanging on the entrance, and when you reach that cabin, it'll become your new home. Now, as simple as that may be, you are all the way on the other side of the wilderness, and throughout your journey, you will go through various events. Some events may unlock items that will make your life much easier. Some events may let you take in the beauty of the wilderness, and some events may be funny scenes where one of your dogs ends up running into a skunk, which leads to no good. The good thing about these events is that it helps build the small yet beautiful world of the Red Lantern. It also helps that the Red Lantern is an absolutely gorgeous game too. Regarding the gameplay of the Red Lantern, since I played this game on PC and completed it, I can only talk about the controls on PC. They're genuinely simple. It's to the point where you can kick back and relax as you play the game. Essentially, you use the A and S keys to navigate choices, you use the left click to make a decision, and you use the spacebar to progress the dialogue quicker. Also, you can move your mouse in various directions to take in the beautifully designed Alaskan wilderness. That's really it. You don't actually control the sled or the doggos. You just make choices using the simple controls and you watch things unfold as they're presented to you. There's a few other mechanics that you need to worry about within the Red Lantern. The main protagonist, who I now call Mush, and our amazing doggos both have energy bars that you need to manage. As you journey through the Alaskan wilderness, you're given the options to go left or right multiple times. Each turn takes away 1 energy bar for the doggos, while for Mush, if you want to pick up birchwood for your fire or hunt an animal for food, that takes away energy away from Mush. If you lose energy entirely, your run ends there and you end up back in the car like you were in the beginning of the game, and Mush deems that previous run as a nightmare. However, she writes all of your progress down within her journal, so it's not like you lose any lessons learned from the previous run. Another mechanic within the game is making a camp. If you're losing out on health and need to cook food to feed you or your dogs, you press the C key. Eventually, you'll end up getting a prompt asking if you want to finally rest, and you can press yes or no. The camp is fairly simple. Yes, you can pet every single doggo as much as you want. You can make food for both you and your doggos. You can also sleep too. The main protagonist does get tired, and if you don't eventually sleep, your energy bar will get capped, and you will lose energy as you perform actions such as hunting. This won't go away until you get back to a camp and sleep before going back onto your trail. When it comes to hunting, basically, you may encounter something like a deer. You'll be able to look at it, hunt it, and even when you do try to hunt it, you're given the option to back out. When you're hunting an animal, a circle with a bouncing ball appears on your screen. You can slow this bouncing ball by holding the E key. The goal of this mechanic is to get the bouncing ball into the big circle. When that happens, you left click on your mouse and boom, you shoot the animal for food. This fairly wraps up the many mechanics that you'll learn as you start and end your runs in the Red Lantern, without fully spoiling other things that you unlock later on within the game. Speaking of starting and ending runs within the Red Lantern, let's go back to talking about the events within the game. Some of these events happen to slightly feel repetitive, and that may be a small negative thing. However, it doesn't take away from the fact that it lets you learn from your mistakes. This allows you to try different decisions to see what outcomes are possible in those scenarios. In fact, the game makes your life and your future runs easier by rewarding you for exploring the wilderness during your journey. To give an example, at one point in my playthrough, I noticed that they kept giving me this event where there were a bunch of tree stumps. Mush kept stopping, saying maybe we should take a look at the stumps. After a while, I was like, fine, sure, I'll do it. I ended up getting an axe that allowed me to cut birch wood without using any energy. It's safe to say I was an idiot, and I absolutely should have done this so much earlier. If you're worried, yes, you keep the items that you may unlock throughout the game even if you die during that run and have to start a new one. So don't stress about it if you end up dying during a run where you unlock something like the axe I previously mentioned. The Red Lantern does a great job of making you somehow care about Mush despite not even knowing her name. She does a great job and gives us an idea as to what's going on in her mind as she goes through this brand new chapter in her life. As you progress through your journey, she'll give us this intimate dialogue, whether it's her reassuring herself that this is the right choice for her next chapter in life, or whether it's about doubting herself after a negative counter in your run. The dialogue that's built throughout the journey makes you want to see this journey through. She as a character just feels so raw, and I mean that in a good way. She's given no name, we don't see what she looks like, and yet her inner thoughts make you want to genuinely care about her. It makes you want to get across the wilderness and get to the cabin with that Red Lantern. On top of this, another great thing about the Red Lantern is that it also does a great job at making you care for these dogs. It makes you want to always pet them when you make a camp to sleep or cook. It makes you want to get them to trust you by following their instinct if they smell a scent that they want you to follow. It makes you want to protect the dogs from whatever you may encounter through the Alaskan wilderness. I didn't realize it, but the more I continued to play the game, the more I grew to become immersed in this world. I was so content with hearing the dialogue of the main protagonist, or the doggos simply being doggos as they hunt birds. When I reached the ending for the Red Lantern, I wasn't sure if I was ready to even beat this game. Without spoiling the end of the Red Lantern, what I can basically say is that I was more than happy with the ending of this game. I sat there just taking the ending in with the amazing music and great dialogue as the credits began to roll. Sure, the Red Lantern is a short experience that could be completed in one sitting or even over the course of a few days, but it doesn't overstay its welcome. The best part is, I don't need more of this game after beating it despite having more to do and more to unlock in the game. I am more than happy after seeing the end of this game, and I think whoever's interested in this game will be too. A short, tight-knit experience with adorable dogs, an entire Alaskan wilderness, and an interesting main protagonist isn't even the best way to describe the Red Lantern. However, even with that being said, the Red Lantern is a beautifully done game that may manage to touch your heart in a way that you never knew you needed. For the upcoming winter season that'll be filled with the holidays, I highly suggest checking out the Red Lantern. It's a simple yet well done game that doesn't try to do too much nor overstay its welcome, and for its price, it's definitely worth checking out. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, I absolutely appreciate it. If you really enjoy this type of content, feel free to hit that sub button. I'll be doing more reviews like this for video games, shows, and movies too. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave a comment down below. As always, I'm your host, Justin, otherwise known as I Don't Beat Games, and I'm here to bring that nerd culture content right to your monitors. Keep it real with peace, love, and positivity. I'll see y'all next video.